Hello, we are Rachel and
Grace. Today we'll be teaching you about the phases of the moon.
Let's start by teaching you some vocabulary. The word waxing means when the amount of light on the moon is expanding.
The word waning means when the amount of light on the moon is decreasing.
A crescent is the curved sickle shape of the waxing or waning moon.
A gibbous is the shape created when the moon is almost completely covered in light.
Now that you have your vocabulary down, let's move on to the phases of the moon.
We're going to start with the new moon. This is when the sun rays are hitting the side of the moon that is not facing Earth. This is when you can hardly see the moon. You might be saying, "Where's the moon today?" Here's what the moon would look like from Earth.
Next comes the waxing crescent. This happens when from Earth you are able to see a sliver of the moon. Here's what that looks like.
After that comes the first quarter. This is when half of the moon is lit up from the view on Earth. Here's what the first quarter moon looks like from Earth.
Next comes the waxing gibbous. This is when the moon is close from our view to being completely lit by the sun's rays. Here's what that looks like from Earth.
After the waxing gibbous comes the full moon. This is when from Earth the moon appears to be completely lit. Here's what that looks like.
Next comes the waning gibbous. This is when the moon is close from our view to being completely lit by the sun's rays. Here's what that looks like from Earth.
After that comes the last quarter. This is when half of the moon is lit up from the view of Earth. Here's what the last quarter moon looks like from Earth.
Finally comes the waning crescent. From Earth, you can only see a sliver of the moon. Here's what that looks like.
Then the cycle repeats itself all over again.
Now that you seem to have the phases of the moon down, let's talk about eclipses.
Let's start with some vocabulary. Solar eclipse. When the new moon moves between our Earth and the sun.
Lunar eclipse. A lunar eclipse happens when the full moon passes across Earth's shadow.
An umbra is the part of the shadow which light is completely blocked.
The penumbra, the part of the shadow that is partially lit.
Good job. So here's the layout of the solar eclipse. This is what now would be a good time to look at the umbra and the penumbra. That's what it looks like.
And here's the layout of a lunar eclipse. Notice the umbra and the penumbra again. This is what it looks like. Good job!
Thanks for watching!